Hey everybody, Mac here, and we are going to try this again. I actually have recorded this video once, and I've even uploaded it once already today in case you saw it the first time. The problem was that I made the first video at 3 o'clock in the morning before I had any coffee, and I was so tired, so low energy, so monotone, that not even I could stand to listen to myself. So, I'm back from work, and we're going to try this again. What I want to show you today, what I want to talk about today, are these. Some of you may know from previous videos that I am a big fan of the Lego Buildable figures, and I'm kind of upset, kind of bummed, I wouldn't say upset, kind of bummed that the line has come to an end, especially since currently I only have these 6. But I am on the hunt, I am looking for them, I do hope to eventually get a full set. One of the things that I really like about these, especially the Star Wars figures, is that they represent the entire saga. You have figures in this set, everything from Episode 1 to Solo, which was the last movie before the series ended. So, I mean, look at this. You got Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, you got Solo, you got the Clone Wars back there, Rogue One, and The Last Jedi. Plus you got Luke and Vader. You have General Kenobi, you have Grievous, Boba Fett, Jango Fett, Jyn Erso, K2SO, Chewbacca, Han Solo from Solo, not the regular Han Solo, TIE pilots, biker scouts, like, it spans the entire saga. And I really like that, and I really want to get as many of these as I can. Now, one of the things that I like about them is the size. First of all, I really like the size of these guys. These are all decent sized figures. I mean, they're basically action figures. They are Lego built action figures. They are not Bionicles. I know a lot of people who haven't played with these or assembled them think that they're basically just another take on Bionicles. I've never had Bionicles, but I know people that do have collected Bionicles. And from what they tell me, it's a much more complex build with the Bionicles. But these have full articulation. They have a head rotation, they have shoulders, elbows, wrists. All of these are ball joints, knees, ankles, side to side as well, ankle pivot, knees, and hips. And oops, this just came off. I got a little too rough with it. Now, one of the common complaints, one of the common issues that people bring up about these is, but Mac, they're all built the same. They're all basically the same thing. And that is a very fair statement. That is a very fair argument, and I can't deny that. But if you look at the action figure industry today, if you look at the Star Wars Black Series by Hasbro, if you look at the Marvel figures by Hasbro, if you look at the old Masters of the Universe Classics collection that was out a few years ago by Mattel and Four Horsemen and then Super 7, all of them now, to save on costs, use the same pieces. It's just a part swap of arms, torsos, and legs. And for the most part, sometimes the torsos, but for the most part, it's the head sculpt that is the difference, along with the accessories that they come with, and often that is additional heads and even additional hands. Now, these guys don't come with additional heads. Well, Vader does. I don't think anybody else does. And none of them have, like, additional hands, but they are very posable. And even if you look at Rey here, and you look at her arm pieces, and then you bring up the range trooper, and you look at his arm pieces, even though they're different colors, yes, they're the same piece. But that doesn't take away from the fact that each one of these figures have their own character. Each one of these figures have their own distinct look. Each one of these figures is highly articulate and very posable. And just, like, this is one of my favorites. I've mentioned it before, Solo was not my favorite movie. But look at this range trooper. Look at the helmet on this range trooper, the gold visor. Look at the articulation. You can just spin that whole head around. The battle damage on the armor. I love his blaster rifle. I love the cloth goods. So many of them have cloth goods, but for some reason I really like the range troopers. It seems to integrate best with the build out of some of the ones that I have already. I just love this helmet. And yeah, the helmet, the heads, just like action figures, just like the Black Series, just like the Avengers figures, the Marvel figures. You can swap heads if you would want to. So, and as far as, obviously these came out before Hasbro even started photo printing. But if you take a look at these, let's bring Rey up here. Oh, let's get this in focus. If you take a look at Rey, and you look at this face sculpt, and you look at the paint application, and you just look at the sculpt of her hair and her face, and you tell me that doesn't look like Daisy Ridley. You tell me that doesn't look like Rey from the movies. And let's bring up Baz, two of my favorites here. I can't believe I had to buy these two separate. Like, these two really should have been a set. You bring up Baz and Chirrut here, and you look at them. Look at those face sculpts. I mean, especially Donnie here. This definitely looks like him. I forget what the actor's name is who played Baz, but that is a very, very good likeness. This is pretty spot on for Donnie. I mean, these are great figures. These are great headpieces. These are great sculpts. I love Donnie's, I love Chirrut's cloth goods, his monk's robes as well. Now, a lot of these, like standard action figures, a lot of these also have play gimmicks. When I was handling Rey, you may have noticed that she has a knob here on her back, and that's for your standard lightsaber action. And I'm pretty sure Luke does that as well. I'm not 100% certain because I haven't seen a Luke figure yet, but I'm pretty sure Luke does that as well. Maul here, who's also one of my favorites. Before we go any further, I mean, just look at this head. Just look at this head sculpt. Oh, come on, get in focus. Look at that. Tell me that isn't brilliant. Tell me that's not great. It kind of makes you wonder why Lego could do this, but Hasbro had to wait for photo printing to come out. But as far as Maul goes, he has a knob on his back too, and he basically just parries. Oops, my arm's getting in the way. He basically just parries his double-bladed back and forth, which is kind of cool. There's a lot of posability. There's a lot of articulation, as I said, with these guys. There's a lot of posing options with these guys. They are just as posable and just as displayable as any action figure. And because I started collecting Legos and I didn't want to get into action figure collecting because that's a very expensive hobby, this was a nice middle ground. That, yeah, it's still Legos, but I can cheat and I can get the action figures too. I got Commander Cody back there, and Commander Cody is cool, but I'm really upset that they never thought to make Rex. Out of all of the clones from the Clone Wars, why did we get Cody and not Rex? I would have loved for them to come out with a Rex before the line ended. Something else about Cody. Cody was one of the first wave figures. And as he just has his blaster rifle. He has no function. He has no play gimmicks. He has a great look, though. He has a great paint deco here on his chest plate. He has a great sculpt for his helmet, just like all the other ones do. But his blaster rifle here is just basically Technic pieces put together to look like a blaster rifle. And it's a very serviceable looking weapon. It's a very serviceable looking accessory for him. But later, let me get these straight. Later in the line, like with the range trooper here, even if the figures didn't have action features like Rey and Maul did, their weapons fired blaster bolts, translucent red blaster bolts, and most of them come with a reload bolt, either so you can shoot twice, or if you lose it, you have a spare. You may have noticed that Baz here, Baz also has, you can see right there, There's his loaded bolt, and there's his spare. Chirrut over here, he has the spare bolt on his back, but what he does have is he has that force bow that he had that just opens up like that. You can see the bolt is loaded there in the middle. It's a little bit of an awkward weapon. I would have rather they gave him his staff, but I would have rather he had his staff with a swinging motion, kind of like how Maul has, and then Baz would have been the gunner, which is pretty much how it was in the movie. But these are the 6 that I have. If you're looking to pick some up, I know that Walmart has them, Target has them, and Barnes & Noble has them, which that's one store I would have never thought I would have included in that list. But some of them still have some hangers on. Some of them have them on clearance before the line completely ends. Also, you can find them on Amazon. Figures like, I think just the regular Stormtrooper, for example, was going for $5, and I think figures like Grievous are going for $40 to $50. There's a 2-pack that has Luke and Vader in it. That's going for like around $90, but they do sell Luke and Vader separate. Vader's real nice that he has a helmeted head, and then he also has the head that he had from like the Return of the Jedi, at the end of Jedi when Luke took his helmet off of him. Also, there are at least 3, I said the Star Wars line at the beginning of the video, but there are at least 3 DC Heroes figures, buildable figures that I know of. Batman, Green Lantern, and Joker. And they're all kind of armored up versions of themselves. Which, Joker wearing armor and carrying a rocket-firing gun is kind of amusing. Batman has been known to don armor once in a while, so that doesn't bother me so much. But Hal Jordan Green Lantern, as an armored-up Green Lantern, actually looks a lot like his Parallax incarnation. So that's really cool. Those ones I've only found on Amazon. But if you can find one of the ones on Amazon, if you can find one for like $5, I really recommend going ahead and picking it up. Giving it a shot. They're a lot more fun to put together and to pose and to play with than people think they are. I know that Barnes & Noble, at least the one by me, still has K2SO and Gen Urso on the shelf. So with those 2, I think that would complete the Rogue One collection. They used to have Rey and her Jakku outfit, at least the one out by me did, but they've since sold that. But seriously, give them a look, check them out. Even if you just get one and play around with it, I don't think you'll be disappointed. Now, that was much better than the first one, so that's all I got for you now. Check out the video I uploaded yesterday. It is a preview. I have started uploading videos to IGTV. I'm going to be using that to do like reviews on single minifigs and smaller pieces, things like that. I uploaded episode 1. I got Evil Lyn, which was the last character I needed for the Masters of the Universe collection, or the first wave. So check that video out. And that's all I got for you, everybody. Hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Play well, everyone, and as always, thank you for watching.